I like to call myself the chief money nerd here at Fox because I'm, well, a nerd and I follow the money. So when it comes to politics, I tend to follow what the donors are up to. So when a prominent candidate like Senator Tim Scott drops out of the race, he had a lot of big money guys behind him, including my next guest, who is now setting his sights on one Nikki Haley. Eric Levine is his name. Very kind to join us now. So, Eric, in doing this, what did you base the move to? Why Nikki Haley?
Well, the world's on fire, and America is failing at home and abroad. From the catastrophic surrender in Afghanistan to the appeasement of Iran to Joe Biden's inability to competently stand up to Putin, China is ascendant, America is in retreat. We cannot survive another 4 years of Joe Biden.
Then why not 4 more years of Donald Trump?
Because Donald Trump cannot win. We have all these.
You've seen these polls?
I've seen these polls. And what I find quite humorous is when the polls show that Donald Trump is behind, all the Trump supporters claim they're rigged, they're lies, you can't trust the media. Now all of a sudden they show him winning. The CNN
he's not just winning a little, right? He's winning a lot.
Yeah, well, these polls that you were showing in your prior segment, he's
Sure.
62%. Those are national polls. Those polls are irrelevant.
But he's got 20 or more point leads in some of these other battleground states.
Yeah.
You just don't think that's going to last.
Well, there are two, I think there are two different things. One is the polls that matter right now are Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina.
Right.
And in those, we see Nikki Haley rising and Donald Trump either plateauing or dipping somewhat, and Ron DeSantis flatlining. If we get into a one-on-one competition, Nikki Haley will beat Donald Trump. I think one of the polls that's particularly interesting to look at is the recent CNN New York Times poll. Everybody in the Trump camp is delighted, they're thrilled, they're jumping up and down. It shows he's winning these battleground states. But it's important. Jason Riley ran a piece in the Wall Street Journal, I believe it was on Tuesday, that made the observation in that very same poll that if Donald Trump is convicted of a crime, those same voters, from 6 to 8%, said they would vote for Joe Biden. That means Donald Trump loses all those states.
So in other words, a conviction changes everything. Even
Completely.
with all these multiple cases and the close to 100 counts, a conviction would change. But it hasn't altered things. So why would a conviction be such a big deal?
Well, because I think there's a difference between people being accused of something. In America, thank God, you're guilty until you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And I may be opposed to Donald Trump, but I think it's fair to say there is a two-tiered system, and he is being treated unfairly in many of these cases. And I think the American voter and Trump supporters are reacting to that, and I understand that. But if there's a conviction, if a trial and a jury of his peers convict him, that changes everything. And you have the two federal cases in D.C. that are going to be going forward before the election is over. You have the Mar-a-Lago document case, and you have the January 6th case.
But the Georgia case is likely put off until...
Yeah, RICO case. I mean,
right.
I do a lot of RICO work.
Okay.
If I were defending that case, I'd be in motion practice for years before that ever got to trial. But on the other two, those are going to go into trial in the middle of the election. And it is likely he's going to be convicted of one, if not both of those. And he will be a convicted felon. And at that point, the polls will flip. And the other thing I'd like to remind people, right now, everybody's focusing on Joe Biden's failures. Understandably so, he's a failure. But if Donald Trump is the nominee, you are just going to see repetition after repetition after repetition of the January 6th riots. You may think that Donald Trump had no role in it if you're a Trump supporter, but the American people en masse don't believe that.
Well, we'll see. But let me ask you this. If it comes down to, with all of this, and next summer, he is the runaway Republican nominee, despite your support for Nikki Haley, would you support Donald Trump?
My focus in raising money has primarily been historically U.S. Senate candidates. It's critically important that we win back the Senate. If Donald Trump's the nominee, I have no confidence that he will win, and we will also lose the House.
But that's not what I asked. If it were him and he was a nominee,
I will focus my attention on the Senate because the Senate will be the firewall.
you wouldn't vote for president?
I will vote for president.
Who?
I will vote for president, but I will focus on Republicans winning back the Senate.
Okay, well, Donald Trump would be that nominee in that event, and you say you'd focus on the president, which means you're going to write in somebody.
You know, we're not at election day yet, but I am focused. At that point, I will be focused on electing Republican senators because I believe that will be the firewall between the country we know and love and a country we don't recognize.
Are you a lawyer?
I am an attorney.
Okay, because that was a very legal, carefully worded answer. All right.
I do my best.
The only other problem is that you're a Mets fan.
You know, I love the Mets. Steve Cohn, please go to Tani.
Yeah.
Go get the Japanese pitcher. We need help.
Yeah, you need a deep wallet for that one. Eric Levine, thank you very, very much. Very good seeing you. A former Tim Scott donor, now backing Nikki Haley. As he pointed out, anything can happen, and history proves usually does. Stay with us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.